Hey there, welcome to the Hot Slice Podcast. This is the podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor at Pizza Today. Along with me is senior editor Kate Lavin. Hello, Kate.
Oh, Denise.
Hello, good day. So by the time this airs, we're a little behind the scenes magic. We're actually recording this before we go to Pizza Expo, like literally days before. Like I am looking at my suitcase right now. It's not completely full yet. That's just another thing. But so we're actually recording this before we go to the show. And this will air in April, so it's pretty fun.
That's right. Today we talked to Kira and Mark Zabrowski, the owners of Much Ado About Pizza in Pleasanton, California. And they actually spoke a little bit about their first Pizza Expo experience and
Mhm.
how that helped shape where they chose to open up their pizzeria and how they do business. It was a very cool conversation.
It is very cool. And of course, by the name of it, if you do not know, it's very Shakespeare themed, which is really fun. But I love that we get into a discussion about the fact that they're a young business and they're at a point where they're ready to decide how to grow. You know, they've hit the max capacity in their restaurant. And I think a lot of people get to this point and they're like, okay, what do we do next? So we have that discussion, and it's really fun to go in that direction.
Absolutely. They run into it saying they wanted to be a mom and pop shop, and it sounds like they've achieved that and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's just jump into our conversation with Mark and Kira, and let's just dive right in.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. Are you ready to elevate your bakeware game? Spokane, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for professionals and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative food service, bakeware, and pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pans' durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Visit lloydpans.com to explore our full lineup and find your perfect pan today. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@lloydpans.com for personalized service.
Thanks for so much for joining us, Kira and Mark.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Hi.
thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You mentioned that you were teaching during the pandemic, and I wondered if there is a correlation between your teaching and the name of your restaurant.
Yes. Actually, there's a lot of this mystery behind it. No. So I taught theater and English for about 25 years. I also have a degree in theater, and I was a local community theater actor, worked for the Shakespeare Theater many moons ago, and I just fell in love with Shakespeare over time. It wasn't a love at first sight. It did take time, and then when I really started getting into Shakespeare is when I was teaching it and performing it. So when we came up with the idea to leave teaching and open a pizzeria,
Somebody's idea. Somebody had this idea.
it was a passion project. During class, I would sneak down, make bread, and I particularly love sourdough. We are from Northern California, so we tend to have the best weather for sourdough, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
So I was making a lot of sourdough, and I thought, oh, we're gonna open up a bakery. We're gonna call ourselves Breaking Bread. It's gonna be awesome.
That purpose.
And he said to me, oh,
No, yeah. Bakers wake up way too early. I don't know if you guys.
yeah.
Your day is too early. I was like, and we were also, I mean, she was making sourdough, but it's not like we didn't have croissant or all the other
I
bakery
wasn't making all of
accoutrements.
that. It was making a lot, but not that. So anyway, I said, okay, well, how about pizza love? Family, community, we can
Sharing pizza.
sharing. It's going to be so great. Well, copyright says no.
Yeah, there is a pizza love.
Oh
It's
yeah.
copyrighted in New Jersey. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we had to change.
And so I was kind of upset, disappointed. I thought it was a great name. We even had little pictures drawn, and
We had a
a
Pizza
party.
Love
We had a
pre-party.
party with my
Right, yeah.
family. And so I went to bed, and I woke up, and it was just so clear as day. I could see Shakespeare eating pizza slice.
Oh yeah.
And I went, Much Ado About Pizza. I was like, Much Ado About Pizza.
She woke me up, right?
And he's like, What? What? And then he thought about it. His marketing self was like, kind of a long name.
Yeah, the name is too long. It's too obscure. Nobody knows a reference. Don't do it. And I was like, yeah, we should do it.
Not? And then it was like serendipitous lights. Like I could think of names of, well, if you build your own pizza, it'll be called As You Like It. We could have a pizza called a Hamlet.
We love puns.
Yeah, we love puns. So there's a lot of fun in the name, and it just sparks flew. And and then we had to come up with a decision quickly on a name and business because we wanted to go to Pizza Expo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard about it.
Yeah.
Through Brian Hernandez. He had mentioned I did a virtual contest with him. Yeah, it was a virtual cup during the pandemic. I had submitted a piece anyway. So he's like, you think about going to Expo. And I said, okay. So I reached out to Bill Oakley, correct? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, sometimes I mess up. And he said, sure, come on. Yeah, it was the August one.
Right. It was a COVID delay.
Oh gosh, the August one was so different. We weren't used to an August show.
It was we found out a lot of things. One, we thought that was big and we were wrong.
No. Oh, that's such a weird show.
We also found those Vegas blocks are very long in the summer heat. You do not walk in Vegas in August. Don't do it.
Yeah. We love our March show dates. We will never give up March. It's so much better to do a March show date.
Agreed.
So that's when everything changed. Honestly, Pizza Expo did change. I realized this is the industry I want to be in. I love pizza people. I think I met you that first one.
Yeah.
Women in Pizza discussion.
Yeah.
And it was Nicole Bean and Nicole.
Yeah, who else was on there? There was a whole panel. Dragon Pizza.
Yes.
And
yeah. And then
so that's what
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I've had so many people on that
names,
panel.
I know.
I'm
too old to remember names.
Maybe Rachel Cope might have been that year with Empire Pizza. So
that was just so. That we met Scott Wiener. It was just everybody that we are.
It was like gasoline on our plan.
Yes, that's
before it was like, honestly, Kira had the plan to open the pizzeria, and I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. Like you can work on the plan. I had her write a business plan. I was like, okay, let's do all this. But then, like total buy-in, I think both of us were both feet in as soon as we went to that. Even though it was this small expo, and everybody talks about it as the baby expo, it was so influential, and just the connections and the personalities, and just it made us know that, yes, we have to do this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For anyone who's listening, who's thinking about jumping into this business themselves, what are some things you came away knowing after the expo that maybe you hadn't thought about when you showed up?
We learned a lot about our model, our plan of where we wanted to go was to be small mom and pop. And just, can you do this low volume, small place, small pizzeria? Can that happen? And we read a lot of people doing it, and we met a lot of people that were doing it. And it was just like, I think it's that validation. It's the networking, meeting the people is really where we. And
the confidence that you have support. We call him our pizza dad. At the very first networking, it was a meeting, or no, it was a meet and greet.
Right. And for newbies, right? You guys have a meet and greet thing there.
Yeah. The new operator reception.
Yeah.
And that felt like, okay, we're not alone. There are people who want to be small mom and pop, or who, are maybe have two locations, and anyways, they're not good, huge.
Right. Because it's intimidating to think about transitioning in a career and throwing a ton of money at it. It's
Yeah.
like it's a lot of
It's a
change,
big risk,
and and risk. And
Yeah.
the joke was, worst comes to worst, we have equity in the house, so we'll sell the house and move in with mom and dad. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Right.
I'm sure they like that plan too.
It was also the vendors. We were honing in on our cheese, our
Right.
sauce, flour. It was
Mhm.
so informative. It's very overwhelming.
So
Going with a plan is a good idea. Even equipment, pans. I mean, there was just so much.
don't be afraid to be overwhelmed.
But don't be afraid to overwhelmed. It was
And go to the
okay.
classes. Go to the class. All
Yeah,
the
all the
classes.
classes, the
We
seminars.
we
Yeah.
met, and we met Will Grant the first one.
Yeah.
He was gracious with his time. Afterwards, we're taking pictures with him. We're like, "Well, you're the coolest," and we love what he had to say about sourdough. We met Mike Bausch,
Yeah, uh-huh.
Mhm.
first one, and again, gracious with his time.
Both
Just
guys taught us
Nick,
about
yeah,
finding places that were already
right, more turnkey.
more
He's like,
turnkey. It was very smart.
I know he's like a
Yeah.
Svengali or something, but it just, I think, if you're going to open a pizzeria, back to the question, if you're going to open a pizzeria, you almost have to go, because there's everything you don't know. Obviously, you're not going to know anything until you don't know it. But just gaining that confidence and building that network, and finding these things and finding like-minded people. There's 100 different styles of pizza. There's 100 different ways to do this and be successful and be happy. And everybody else is already doing it. Like, why figure it out for yourself? Why not just talk to them and make those connections and find people that are like you that want to do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Um, I can think now that you're a seasoned operator, you guys have been open for a little while now. You're
2.5 years, yeah.
you're just kind of rocking and rolling. What's top of mind for you right now with the business and with what's going on with your operation?
Yeah, it's just a lot is evolving.
Yes.
We're in a place
Mhm.
where we are at max capacity. What we can
Right.
do
Yeah.
in our small location, we are bigger than what we imagined we were wanted to be. We
Yeah.
wanted to just be mom and pop, little
Just
shop
her and
on
I.
Maui,
She's gonna
just
wear the muumuu.
just hanging out. But now our community, our Pleasanton community, really wants us to be so much bigger, but we unfortunately can only be a carry out. We don't have a
Mhm.
lot of parking.
Yeah, we
So
took over.
yeah, it was
We
a
took
Papa
over Papa
Murphy's. Yeah.
Murphy's,
Okay.
and so without doing some remodeling and significant investment in the property, we're kind of stuck. So it's like, do we do the investment in the property? Do we find another property that's a little more suited? Do we keep both properties if we do that?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that's kind of, luckily we have time on the lease.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. But it was good to start looking now.
You just gotta look.
Of course, our customers want us to stay. Don't leave us, or come be
Yeah.
safe somewhere close.
And
But
where we're at is there's several small cities near us, and so we
Mhm.
pulled from a lot of different places,
Mhm.
and so everybody's always like, well, you could move closer to us in San Ramon, or you could move closer to us in Livermore. As
Yeah.
long as you're looking, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
not a bad choice. But
so we're trying to right now work on building our team more,
Mhm.
our systems tighter. So I think we're trying to talk to people, and out of this expo, I think we're gonna try and network with people who have really good systems,
Mhm.
who have really good hiring tips, or
Yeah.
it's not easy
processes,
to,
yeah.
it's not easy
Yeah.
to find people who want to
Mhm.
do part-time in a pizzeria, which seems
Right.
weird. I think it sounds amazing,
Right.
but
Yeah, it's part of the problem is the size that we are suggests that we should have a certain amount of labor, right?
Mhm.
Because right now we're doing the whole thing, and that's what we wanted, and that's why it works that way. But
Yeah.
then you're like, well, we don't sell enough pizza, and probably won't. Like, adding you as labor doesn't add enough more pizza. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like making those, but eventually we have to
you gotta let
we
go.
gotta
Yeah.
love the baby a little
Well,
bit.
that's where the systems come in, right?
Right.
Because having good systems means that you can trust your employees more to do the daily ops stuff so that you can focus on developing your pizzeria. As you were talking, I was thinking about like, what about a second location? If this one is thriving and you're at max capacity with a carryout program, what about going all in on store number two and making that your dine-in baby?
I would love that. And we have
Yeah.
some feelers out. We have a
We
couple.
just the idea of having a little like black box theater in the corner where the drama kids are
Yeah,
rehearsing,
I
just
love it.
We could come out and talk. I love talking to my customers, but I'm making pizza while I'm trying to talk
Yeah,
to them. I would
yeah.
love to just come out behind the counter and sit down with you
it's always like a
and share a slice with you.
Rocky Balboa, the movie where he's
Yeah.
in this restaurant and he's doing his thing. And he's like, "Hey, Rock, tell us another story, Rock." And he's just like, "Hey guys,"
That's what
like
I want.
that's what our vision is. Picnic tables too. So like
Everybody has
basically
to sit
everybody
together.
has to sit together, family style seating. Just like what are you
Hmm.
eating? That looks good. That kind of thing. And I think people will embrace it because of the community that we want to have with
Hmm.
it. So
Yeah, I like that. I think that you're on the right track with deciding which way to go as you develop. And as you're at Expo and things, I think you're going to find that there are a lot of people sitting in your shoes because I have this discussion with operators all the time. They're like, dude, I can't get out of my business. And I'm like, we're in the business and we're not able to decide how to grow because we're in the kitchen because we love making the pizza. But
Yes.
right.
getting away from making the pizza is where you really start to advance and grow the
Yeah.
business.
Yes.
So
And
I think
For
you're
sure.
going to get some ideas on that, I
I
think.
wish I wish I had a dollar for every time somebody told us to work on the
Uh,
business instead of
Yeah.
in
Running
it,
business.
because then I
Yes,
would probably
It's
be
it's
able
the
to
golden
work on
rule,
the
right?
business.
it is. It is.
Uh,
But I'm ready. My hands are telling me,
oh yeah.
my arms are telling me it's time.
We
Let's go.
perhaps also overestimated our age
Yeah.
starting this. Like at the end of the day, you're like, "Oh, that's my back. It really feels great.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm loving this." You know.
As somebody who's started bike packing later in life, I feel you. I feel
Okay.
that.
And you're like, "Why did I do this to myself?" Mm.
Same.
It sounds like you took the advice to find a turnkey spot to heart, and that really kind of worked out for you.
Right.
What other things do you think people should look for when they're looking for their first location? What are some priorities?
You know, I think that again, it's going to depend on your initial spend. If your initial spend is like I'm opening a McDonald's, $2 million, and you need to location.
Yeah.
You need to be on the big corner. You
Yep.
need to pay the high
If you
rent.
got the
You need to
money.
have 100 employees. You need to do that.
Yeah.
And if that's your dream, that's cool.
Yeah.
For us, we were dipping our toe into the water, and so we tried to find something. Um, the important part of the location was going to be rent and usability more than the busy street corner and the high traffic.
Which would have been
Yeah.
nice, but actually,
Right.
it's kind of we were lucky for
But
us
you
because yeah,
pay for that,
yeah,
right?
you
I
pay
mean,
for
that's
that. We didn't know enough, honestly, because we were so fresh to this industry. It was actually a blessing, even though it's feels like a curse right now. It
right.
was a blessing that it's a very quiet shopping center. It's not a lot of
Mhm.
foot traffic. It was a pizzeria before, but even though it was a take and bake, it was pizza. So people
Yeah.
did go there for pizza. So I think that is smart
That's
to
not bad.
at least at a restaurant. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a place of even if it was a sandwich shop before,
Yeah.
Right.
people know to go there for food. I think
Yeah.
that's good advice that we got.
Well, yeah, I mean, also, if you're trying to start low budget, then having something, I know it's probably beating a dead horse here. Everybody knows to start in a second gen restaurant place. Let the first guy put in all the stuff,
Yeah, like
and then you get to inherit it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a financial guru here, but definitely, because we looked at a lot of places. And we were looking at converting a salon
yes.
at one point, and the people that went in there, they spent $1 million to convert it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Ouch.
it's like that's
Yeah.
your starting expense, and you're looking at that loan. And if your plan is there, then it's fine. You can do this.
Mm-hmm.
These are things that can
And if
happen.
all you can do is a food truck at the moment, that's all you can do. It's difficult in California.
Yeah.
Just the
Everything.
commissary you have to have, and you can only be what is it, health permit in a certain district. It's just a lot, and we actually considered that at one point. We were doing pop-ups at the wineries here in our area, and that was how we get our name out. We had to get our brand out. We knew we had to like get our brand out, so that people will come to the location. We're like food truck, and then we just went, oh no, it's too much.
You're like,
we had actually booked events before we had a kitchen, any
Yeah.
kitchen that we
Yeah.
could use to do those events. So we might have put the cart before the horse a little bit on that.
say yes and make it
You gotta
happen.
put it out there, man.
I like
Nothing
it.
motivates you like, oh, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. We got lucky, and we also, again, this location, we kind of got lucky. The landlord saw something in us. He liked our
Right.
business. We reminded him of another couple that was in the center,
Right.
that has a great successful business there,
There
and he said, okay, he said yes to the dress, so
Yeah.
We did. I will say that in our initial journey, even though we were looking at a lot of places, not a lot of landlords wanted to look at us.
yeah.
Some were asking for like a lot of weird financial, way before like we were even in the process of like, would we go here? They wanted a lot of data,
Financial,
a lot of, and just, so that didn't work, or we couldn't even get them to return calls. There is a place up the road here that we had looked at, and the guy wouldn't return our calls, but he ended up putting another pizzeria in there. So I'm a little salty, but they're nice people, so it's okay. Still salty.
It was also very interesting as a woman in business,
Oh, yeah.
going into those meetings with the landlords and stuff. They sometimes would just dismiss me.
They didn't even look at her.
They wouldn't
actually,
even
half the
talk
time.
to
I was
me.
like, she's a 50,
Yeah.
she's like
51%.
she's the
Come on.
business.
Yeah.
She's only 51% because I want as much as I can get,
So I know it's kind of a little off topic, but I did want to mention that it was
Yeah.
kind of difficult at first.
Several times.
And it still is. I still am dismissed.
Yeah, vendors a lot
mhm.
of times will come in and just talk to me, and I'm like,
Or they call and
I don't want to
ask
make this
for
choice.
him.
Ask her.
That's
So-
why I think it's important, because I know you both compete, doing things like competing. I know you're an ambassador for Women in Pizza, being able to let people know that that you are the part of the business, like that you guys are a team, because sometimes, and we experience this too, that when there is a couple owners, that a lot of the emphasis gets put on the man. And I've even seen it in media where I'll see the man's name and then I'll say, and his wife this, even though she's running the business with him. So it's a challenge a lot of couples are facing, where maybe one is getting more of the direct attention than the other partner, even though the stakes are the same. I don't know if that's kind of what you've experienced as well.
Yeah. We're together. We're a great team. We stay in our own lane.
Yeah.
He's always very much like, you're the face. He's always like, you're the face. This was your idea, so you go.
I've
you're
been told
the face.
more than once that
Yeah.
definitely somebody's going to be the spokesperson for our business. It should not be me. So.
And I'm like, oh, it's okay. My theater background and all that. It's easier for me than for him. I mean, he can do it. Obviously, he's very good at doing it, but he pushes me to, you go. You go.
Yeah.
And she actually initially, I have a marketing background. My degree is in marketing, but she has actually ended up taking over our marketing and our messaging. It was sort of one of those things where it's like, well, I can't do that today. Can you do it? And then next thing you know, it was, can you do it? Can you do it? And then now she's like, what are we doing today? She's in charge of getting them. And it's mostly just having that scheduling and getting that out there. But yeah, eventually you have to, and it's going to divide up more. You're going to have to fall into like, I'm this person. I can do the other things, but this is the goal that I have to fulfill. It's the best advantage that for our business kind of thing.
Even in the shop, I thought we would, circle around. Like he would do this one day, then I would do it, and it ended up that just we fell in our lane. And I'm really comfortable front of house. I like to
Yeah.
do the
And
pizzas.
she's the dough. She's the reason for the dough. But because as you start making larger batches, it gets really heavy, and it's like, well,
It was
this
hard for
let's
me physically.
make you lift the heavy stuff, which I'm
And
so
now he's
grateful
the
for.
dough master.
Forever, duh. But that's kind of the ways she ends up building the pizzas, and I end up cooking the pizzas and kind of running the register and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah, expediting and yeah.
That makes
so
a good team. It makes a good partnership being able to do those kinds of things to establish who does what and stays in their lane and who drives what, because that really does drive success, I think.
yeah, you definitely again, if you're sharing the labor, if you're not like we saw a video of this guy in England who runs a pizzeria entirely by himself, which
Yeah.
bless him, but
So nuts.
but if you're dividing the labor at all between any kind of ownership, you really have to feel out what, and don't be afraid to let go
Yeah.
of, things that maybe you like to do these things, but you're still better at the other thing
Yeah.
than, and so just it's all about advancing the business and being successful as a team. So just put yourselves in the best position for
And,
success.
and I think that was a good advice for us early on was let it go, don't be so
Yeah.
stuck in everything, in your systems,
Yeah.
in your jobs, and
Chef
you
Mark.
can't be stuck. Let it evolve. Even the way we set up our kitchen has
Yeah.
evolved and continues to evolve because it's just not work. It wasn't working, and this isn't good. The system is terrible,
Right.
So being flexible is the word I was looking for,
Be flexible.
is very important. I think.
Yeah. I think your systems manuals are very fluid and they always should be fluid. Like they're always ever changing, like updating, constantly changing and evolving with the differing times. Because if you look at the way a pizza operated 10 years ago, as
Right.
opposed to the way a kitchen
Mhm.
operates today, I mean, it is night and day, the difference
Right.
between the two. So being able to adapt, I like what y'all are doing.
Well, and I mean, obviously technology has driven that, and we see tech all the time at Expo, and we're like, how can we do that? How many people do we replace? How many pizzas we just make? Like
Yeah.
you're just always like, even just the phone, and I'm not happy with our phone system. I won't say their name because we're not
No.
necessarily happy with them, but they're better than
Well, we had.
having no operator. So we got a
Yeah.
digital operator, and just having just that little
Little.
bit it's like extra hands. It's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even though people click past the operator, it's still for just the smallest little bit
Yeah.
is that little bit of relief. When we first started our point of sale,
Oh,
we
man.
did we went for a price maybe. No, we went for I didn't want to buy into a big old thing that
Yeah,
I didn't
because we didn't know what we
we didn't know
needed.
what we needed. And so we went for one that was more modular that you could add on and add on and add on.
Hmm.
And it used to make this sound when you get an online sale. And like Friday night, it'd be like beep, 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 beep. It's like, oh my God.
For
And the
every
phone's
sale.
ringing and that's going, and you're just like, you're running around in circles. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
You're like, where's the
Uh,
mute? Where's the mute?
Stop. I'm happy for the order, but stop, please.
Yeah, it does get like that Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
We were
I'm
on
sure.
Yelp's top 100 list, and that was a
Congrats.
blessing again this year. But with again with blessings comes business, and sometimes you're not ready for it. And our system, we've had to shut it down, and we're like, no, we need to turn the online
Yeah.
ordering off. Please just
Yeah.
turn it off. It was the episode of the bear. I mean, tickets were like,
Oh,
I was like, ah! So.
But aren't you happy that you have the ability to pause online ordering and pause? I don't know. Do you guys do third-party delivery? Are you able to
we do,
pause
and
those
Only-
but
systems?
we don't do it Friday and Saturday at all
Yeah.
because just it doesn't talk to our current point of sale. And it's not worth the extra stress
Yeah.
and the customer. We're making pizzas the whole day anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like I can't actually make more
Yeah.
than we're making on Friday and Saturday anyway. So
Yeah.
it's
You're
like,
maxed. Yeah. I like
also,
that.
why should I pay them for that?
Yeah.
They're the third parties. I think there's obviously a lot of negativity around the third party delivery systems, and they do take a big chunk of change. But I feel like if you reframe it in your mind as it's not just delivery, it's also marketing.
And it's
Yeah.
it's an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
It's treated
And
that way.
so, you're not paying the insurance on the employee. You only have to pay them when you use them.
Yeah.
I think you can make them work for you, and you have to demand it from them because
Mhm.
they hire a lot of, no offense to young people, but I was stupid when I was young, and I don't think it's changed. I think everybody's stupid when they're young. And they're just like, you should just use us because,
Yeah.
Uber or DoorDash, we're the best. Just turn it on and we'll save your business. I'm like, no, 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 no,
That's
no.
not a, yeah.
This is how I want to use you. You need to make this work for me and
Yeah.
demand that of them. And then you can just shut the darn thing off and tell
Yeah.
them, like, I'm not using you until you are
Do what
working for me better.
Yeah.
But when people say, oh, 30%, it's like, yeah, but I paid this magazine guy, $500, $800 this month, and I don't know, did I get anything from it? I don't know.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
know, okay, I know I got an order from DoorDash or whatever,
Yeah.
and I paid them the money. And okay, that works.
A lot of people use it as a marketing line item,
Yeah,
because they are an SEO powerhouse. They
right,
are driving the local search and things like that. So
right.
we see a lot of people using that, but it's definitely third party has changed. It is the perception of third party has changed. The operator's abilities in third party has changed. The ability to blacklist bad drivers,
Mhm.
the ability to really hone it and make it your own, I think is helping with the reputation of third party.
We also, so again, going back to our first point of sale, we called them, they weren't third party delivery, it was fourth party
Right.
delivery
Oh
because
gosh.
the point of sale contracted the our online ordering, which then would contract the delivery
Oh,
company.
wow.
And so when there was a problem, it was always like,
It was awful.
and
Oh,
I was, I just need to resolve this, and I need to also not pay for this. Like, how can you
yeah,
help me do those two things? Oh, call them. So
yeah.
that part was a nightmare. So I will say, since we've gone direct
It's much better.
through the third party delivery that we're using,
Mhm.
it's been much better. The drivers have been better. We had drivers stealing food. We had
Yeah,
just the whole,
The typical of what you hear
yeah.
man,
was happening.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
still remember the one where the guy was out of town, so it was a hotel delivery, and calls me up. I was like, I said, we you got to call them. Like, I don't know. I definitely gave the pizza to them. Like, what's going
Yeah,
on? He's like, I don't have it. They say it's your fault. I said, okay, I apologize. I got you. It's the end of the night. I'll make the pizza. I'll drive it to you. Give me, 30 minutes. I got you. I get there at the hotel in the hotel lobby, and the guy is like so red eye. It was like 420 all day for this guy. He's like,
yeah.
you ate my pizza, bro. I know you ate my pizza. He's like, go upstairs. I was like, I know, room 300 is in the third floor, dude. It's like,
Oh,
it's the
geez.
first time I've been in a hotel.
Oh
It was like,
man.
ooh, he was all glazed over. Oh, it's like, well, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, well, we won't keep you too much more. Kate, do you have a final question for him?
This isn't a question, but I love, love, love your graphics. The little cartoon Shakespeare is just adorable.
Thank you. Our son drew it.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
12, and at the time he's 17 now. But he was 12, and I said, "Hey, bud, can you?" Because he's a really great artist. I've been early on. He has an eye.
Yeah.
So I said to him, "Can you draw me in your style Shakespeare eating pizza?" I showed him a bunch of different Shakespeare. There's a lot of different images of Shakespeare, and I said, "Pick anyone you want. You can do the earring guy, the more bald guy, whatever you want."
yeah.
And he said, "Okay." Literally within the day, I
Pretty much
had
drawing.
the first drawing. I was like, yes. The lettering we had to kind of work on, but
Yeah.
and so he's done a lot of our graphics. So he's kind of petered
Well,
off.
He
that's
goes
fun.
on, is on again, off again. But
Yeah, he's
some of it he loves, and I think he likes to do art his way. He
Yeah.
doesn't like to be told to art. I was like, well, if
Yeah.
you're gonna do it for a living,
Take your passion away, right?
it's fun, cartoony. And here we go again. I've had people tell me, "Yeah, you shouldn't have cartoon as your logo, blah blah blah." I'm like, but that's us. Like, we're fun, we're whimsical, it's theatrical. I want it to be kid friendly, family friendly, fun, just fun. I'm not serious, you
Well,
know.
make sure. I think with that, don't listen to others about, to piggyback on it, don't listen to others about how you should do your brand. Like these are the rules for your brand. Make sure your brand is genuine and then do that.
Yeah.
I think, I think part of our success or limited or small success that we've had so far, is that we've just been very genuine and people have embraced that and they embrace us. And, getting on the Yelp list, it wasn't us that did that. It was our customers that did
Yeah.
that to us, for us, not to
Our
us.
community has really come
But-
out, but we really care about our community. Once we signed up with Slice Out Hunger, we knew we were gonna do a lot of community work. As teachers, we did a lot of work in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
We were interested, food bank was always number one, feeding our neighbors. And
Right.
so I think our community
We were already.
has seen, and we love our community. We want to take care of them. And I again, we're very genuine about that. And people come into the shop and can you help us with this and that? And we can, if it makes sense to us and our brand and our
Yeah.
core values, we'll do it. But
But if it's just like, give me
There's so
pizza
much,
because I
yeah.
play baseball.
yeah.
There's only so many dough balls I have.
Yeah.
Being smaller and having limited batch, you
Yeah.
just kind of pick and choose a little bit more. But definitely get it. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do what feels right for you, but definitely be in your community and have that heart.
I love that. Thank you so
Amazing.
much for joining us today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you in Vegas, even though
Oh,
it's gonna air
yes.
after Vegas, but we'll
I
see
know it's
you
airing
in
after, but we're
Vegas
going to see
and-
you soon.
Yeah,
know.
we'll see you in a couple of days.
I know. We're
We're
driving
tense.
down, so we're still thinking about our pizzas. Last minute.
Absolutely. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Can't
right.
wait to see you.
All right. Thanks,
Bye
guys.
now.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.